إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillah. We are in Al-Ajrumiyyah, and Al-Ajrumiyyah is such a beautiful text. We'll probably be here for another couple of weeks doing it. However, we're in the meat and potatoes of it. We're in Alamatul I'rab, yani Faslul Alamatul Raf'i. So, let's go over it again. Last week, when we went over this, we said Dammun Wawun Alifun wa Noon. علامات رفع بها تكون فارفع بضم مفرد الأسماء كجاء زيد that great صحابي وارفع به مكسرة وما جمع من مؤنث فسلم كذا المضارع الذي لم يتصل شيء به كيهتدي وكيصل. Now we're on the next part. The next part from the signs of i'rab in making something raf'un, right? How many signs are there in i'rab? No, it's 4, right? You have marfu'un, raf'un, wa nasbun, thumma jazmun, khafdun. Naam. فالأولان دون ريب وقع في الاسم وفعل المضارع معا. Now we're in doing just with raf'un, just in raf'un. What are the signs of raf'un? The signs of raf'un are 4. Okay? Just to review, everybody. The signs of raf'un are what? 4. Say 4, man. Okay. Dammun, wawun, alifun, wa noon. Okay? So it's a dammun, wawun, alifun, wa noon, alamat raf'i biha takun. Okay? So we did dammun. I don't like this. It looks ugly. We did dammun. Dammun and waw. Okay? We finished the dammun. Let me get that. It's okay. Cool. Never mind. We did dammun. Dammun is a sign for raf'un fi asma'il ismun mufrad. A single word like zaydun. Ja'a zaydun. And the fi'lun mukassar. Jam'u mukassar. Right? Like babun abwabun. Or when we have al-mudhakkir, naam, the woman's word, the jam'u muannath salima. Like muslima, muslimatun. Okay? So this is this. And likewise in the fi'l al-mudari. Like yadhabu wa yaf'alu. It's a dhamma. You guys with me with that? No. Real easy. Now we're off of the dhammun. What's the next sign? The next sign is wow. Remember, a dhamma is a little wow over the line. Right? That's what a dhamma is. So it makes sense that the actual wow would be the next sign. Now this is the asl. This is the original. The big mama jamba. He is Dhamma. These are his deputies. Dhammun, wawun, alifun, and noon. Alifun, wawun, alifun, wa noon. They are niyabatan. Understand that. They come in the place of Dhamma. Okay? As a sign of Raf'i. The sign of Raf'i or marfu'un is dhamma. And her three, junior detectives or deputies are wawun, alifun, and noon. Okay? Niyabatun an dhamma. That's how we say it in the i'rab. Coming in the place of the what? Dhamma. You guys with me? Always want to see what you got in that book. Can I see, please? وارفع بواو خمسة أخوك يعني أنا هذا الأسماء الخمسة وارفع بالواو شرط. Okay, no, it's not. I want to see. Yeah, pass that back to him. Anyway, McKean has his own book. It's written by a Mauritanian. We used to call him Sheikh al-Suq when I was in Mauritania. He didn't come out to the desert. He used to stay like where we hang out we go to the city. This is the souk in Mauritania, the big souk. Okay? And inside here, everybody's doing whatever. And these are buildings right here. Outside here is where the trucks go to go back to the desert. So we come to the city, we buy all our stuff, then we get on the trucks, and we go back out to the city right there. There's this big open field right here. They be gambling in this place, buying drugs for the animals, for the, veterinary drugs for your animals, for your camels and stuff like that. That's all happened here. There's some toilets over here and some building over here. We used to buy a whole bunch of dates. Used to be right here. They set up the dates and everything. Over here is a masjid, big masjid, right here. Right here is where Sheikh al-Souk, he's always in this building over here. And he would give classes, some of the same classes we get out in the desert. So some people, if they got sick or if they were couldn't come out to the desert for some reason or another, they would stay in the city and they would go study with the Sheikh al-Souk out there. I would visit him. I never studied with him in the desert. I mean, there because we were in the desert. So it was like redundant. But there's some brothers that studied with him for years in Mauritania. Now, let me get that thing right there, please. But he wrote that book that McKean has. Okay. Moving right along. The next part is warfa biwawin khamsatin akhuka. Warfa, follow me. Warfa biwawin khamsatin akhuka. Abuka ذو مال حموك فوك. You can say fuka, okay? Now, وارفع بواو خمسة أخوك أبوك ذو مال حموك فوك. Pay attention, guys. Here, in this bait, we're dealing with the signs of wow. Not the signs of wow. When wow is used as a sign of raf'i. Okay? So he starts off, right? ضم واو ألف ونون علامات رفع بها تكون فارفع بضم. The first thing is you make raf'un, you make something raf'un with a dammin, right? في الأسماء المفرد. نعم. كجاء زيد صاحب العلاء وارفع به جمع مكسرة وما جمع من مؤنث فسلم كذا المضارع الذي لم يتصل شيء به كيهتدي وكيصل. That's all dealing with the dhamma, right? So we have the ismul mufrad, right? Then you have the jam'u taksir, then you have jam'u mu'annath as-salim, then you have fi'lu mudari. All these are with what? Dhamm. These are made raf'un with dhamma. Now you'll see these same ismul mufrad, jam'u taksir, jam'u mu'annath salim, wa fi'lun mudari. You'll see them again when we do the signs for nasbi. But that'll be dealing with nasbi. So here we're dealing with raf'un. For raf'un, you make a dhamma when it's in the place of raf'un. Now you may say, well, how do we know what raf'un is? That's not your case right now. Your case first is to learn the signs. Then when we start doing the work, you'll say, okay, we're going to make this raf'un. You say, oh, I see it's raf'un because it has a dhamma at the end of it. Okay? These words, ismu mufrad, jamu taksir, jamu mu'annath salima, and the fi'l mudari. Now we're off the dhamma. Now we're on the wow. So he says, warfa', make it raf'un. That's what warfa' means. It's in order. Warfa' biwawin. So use the wow as a sign of raf'i. Khamsatan akhuka. In 5. That stops it right there. Okay? It's as if he goes like this. Put those 2 dots like this. Don't worry about this thing. He puts fi khamsatin. In Khamsa. What are the khamsa? Asma'il khamsa. The 5 words. What do we mean words? Ismuns. Because we said the ismun mufrad is a word, a proper name, like Mukhlis, or Zayd, or Amr, or Bakr, like that. That's what ismun mufrad, person, place, or thing, or description. Now, here when we say khamsatan, the 5 names, these 5 ismuns, right? They are specific words in the Arabic language. Specific words that come empty in the middle. Watch. Akhuka. The first one is akhuka. The second one, abuka. The third one, dhu malin. The fourth one, hamuki. The fifth one, fuka. Okay? These are the 5 words that he's talking about. Akhun. So the word is what? Akhun. You see that? We say akhun. He is akhun li. He is my brother, a brother. You know, we say, what's happening, akh? You know, we say that all the time. People in the street say, what's happening, akh? So this is the akh. However, when you add something to the end of this, okay, we call it mudaf, mudaf alayh. I don't want to confuse you, but it's a prepositional clause. You just hear you saying a brother. Akhun, everybody say akhun. Akhun. A brother. A brother. Akhuka, your brother. You see, when you say your brother to the end of it, right? Or you say the brother of someone else, we call that a prepositional phrase. Meaning something is in position before you say the other one. That's why it's pre. In English, they pronounce it wrong. They say prepositional. But it's a preposition. So here, this akh is in position before the ka, meaning you or yours. Okay? Because you can say, akhu fulan, akhu zayd. The point is that it is in a prepositional clause, or mudaf, mudaf alayh, what we call. So something is the brother of so-and-so. Okay? The brother of you, right here. Then in that case, we make it a dhamma. And that's not just the case for this. It's the case for each one of them. Abuk, dhu malin, hamuk, fuk. All of these are in a prepositional clause. Does that make sense? Is that confusing? You don't know what a prepositional clause is? Okay, so that's like when we say your house. You are establishing and recognizing what your house is. Okay? Your house. So we would say Baytuka. Like your way. So akhun by itself doesn't have a wow. In fact, it has a dhamma because now it's an ismun mufrad. When we take this ismun mufrad and we add akhun anta, meaning your brother, your, we would say akhuka. Akhuka. And in that case, we make wadafa biwawin. Where's the wow? Right here. So then we make a wow, the sign that this word is raf'un. Niyabatan an dhamma. It's in the place of the dhamma. Fi asma al-khamsa. In the 5 asma, 5 ismuns that are ma'ruf. In the whole Arabic language, these are the only ones. Maybe you get to Alafiyah, they come to a 6th one called Hanuka, but there's ikhtilaf on that. In Ajrumiyyah, you get everything. There's no ikhtilaf. There's no difference of opinion in these 5. And there's only one more that's added in the Arabic language that some people say, nah, you could, maybe you might. But again, that's, you don't even need to worry about that. Okay? Here, for sure, these 5, you just definitely use a wawun as a sign of raf'un fi asma al-khamsa. You guys with me? No. Okay. The second one is abuka. Let's say, what is this called? Abun. Say it. Abun. You say abun. No, abun li. He's my father. Abun li. Right? Or abi. Right? But if he says it's your father, or the father of so-and-so, or Abu Lahab, or Abu Taubah, you see? We're making that the father of something or someone. Now, we have to do what to it? Use wow as a sign of raf'i in that name. So let's do a name that everybody knows and hates. Abu Lahab. Okay? Abu Lahab. You see, right there, we have the wow. Or we put a name that everybody loves. We put a name everybody loves. Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr. Okay? As-Siddiq. We see a wow. Wow is the sign of raf'u in this word. Niyabatan, in the place of what? Dhamma. Why? Because it's one of the Asma al-Khamsa. It's one of the 5 words that we do that in the whole Arabic language. Okay? So you're learning rules that affect the whole Arabic language. All right? The next one is Dhu Malin. This one here. Dhu Malin. Say that. Dhu Malin. Dhu Malin. It's from the word Dhu. Here, this word right here, it only comes. It means, here it means sahib. Sahib. Sahib means companion of, or the owner of. Dhu Malin, mal is wealth. Dhu Malin, again, is the one, the companion of wealth, the person that got money. You get it? Do you guys understand that or no? Dhu, meaning, okay, Dhul Qarnayn. You get that? Dhul Qarnayn, the one who had 2 horns. Right? So Dhul Qarnayn, why? Because he's the possessor, the companion, the one who owns or has these 2 horns. Right? So we call him Dhul Qarnayn. Okay, not the Dhul Qarnayn from Florida. The Dhul Qarnayn in the Quran. Okay? Dhul Qarnayn. So, when he is Dhul Qarnayn, we put a wow as the sign that he is in the state of raf'i. Why? Because he's one of the 5 names. You with me? The next one is Hamuki. Say Hamuki. Hamuki. It's a mistake to say Hamuka. It's Hamuki. It's from the word we find in the hadith, Al-Hamu. Al-Hamu. Everybody heard this word before? Al-Hamu. Hamu. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Hamul Maut. Right? He said, the brother-in-law to the wife, meaning her husband's brother, is death to her. It's like death. Right? So it can't be Hamuka, because it's not the sister-in-law. It's the brother-in-law. Okay? So Hamuk has to be what? Hamuki. You're Hamuk, talking to a woman. You guys follow me? Why did the Prophet say that? He's saying because what? The man looks like his brother. He smells like his brother. He acts like his brother. This could be a fitna for his wife. When he asks how they should interact with each other. Can she be uncovered around her brother-in-law and be lightened? No, should be more, because now, the brother might like what his brother likes. Right? They come from the same home. They have the same likes and dislikes. So she should be more concerned about concealing herself and be careful around him in certain regards, because of the nature of her husband is in that man. That's why the Prophet said, when asked about this, he said, Al-Hamul Maut. Hamuki. So we see here, Hamuki. And when we were studying with Sheikh Muhammad Salim al-Daddud al-Shinqiti, Hafidhullah, he said, make sure you put a kasr under here, because many people don't understand Arabic. It's Hamuki and not Hamuka. Okay? So here, when it's by itself, al-Hamu, then we say Hamuki. Say it again. Hamuki. Okay? And guys, you see I'm writing the kaf like this? You guys see that? That's because the kaf is written like this. You put a little hamza. But if you do like that, you don't have to put the little hamza when you're writing with your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Hamuki, you said that just means brother-in-law?
The brother-in-law, yes.
What about cousins?
Cousins, well, cousins.
Both sides, the wife's family and the husband's family.
We're just dealing with this word.
No, I understand.
Okay.
I mean, does it also extend to male cousins?
The ruling with regards to male cousins or female cousins in that regard. Cousins are marriable. Okay, you know, even the kuffar even notice why that's why they call them kissing cousins. Okay, you have this thing, they're kissing cousins. You know, when we used to go down south, the cousins were there, and you know, it was well known. You don't leave them cousins together. You know, my aunts, they were very strict. They say, get away from your cousins. You know, the girl cousins, stuff like that, because you like your cousins, you know, or something. Why? Because they're your family. How many people from Africa marry their cousins? Thank you. You have, you know, people raising their hand already. Okay, so it happens. So of course, you know, when you're small, you can play together. But after a certain age, you got to separate and get rid of, you can separate the boys and the girls from playing with each other. Why? Because they have more opportunity to go sneak around and play and fall into the haram. Okay? So you have to, as boys start to realize that they're boys and that, oh, my cousin so-and-so, she ain't so bad looking. You know?
So that would fall into the word hamuk?
No, it wouldn't come into the word hamuk. The word would be ibnu am, or bintu am, or bintu khal. The word khal means uncle from your mother's side, and am means uncle from the father's side. It's very specific. In English, we just say uncle. But in Arabic, it's more specific like that. So your ibnu am, once you're the son of your uncle, once you'll get 7, 10 around that side, then you just say, okay, you guys play with the girls, you guys play with the boys.
So just like you just stated how the wife should cover in front of her brother-in-laws or brother-in-law, does she have to cover in front of her male cousins?
Yes, she has. The question is, just like she has to cover in front of her brother-in-law, and does she have to cover in front of her male cousins or female cousins for that regard? Yes. The lady has to cover in front of her male cousins, and the male has to be careful around his female cousins. Whether they're from his father's side or his mother's side, it doesn't make any difference at that time. Does that answer your question? Okay. Going right along. Fook. Fook is a word that means fem. It's from this word. Fem. Everybody say fem. Fem is your mouth. Okay? Fem is your mouth. You could say femuka, say that, femuka, or you could say fuka. Both are correct. You understand? Femuka wa fuka. This is the only one that can switch up. The others don't switch up. You can say femuk or you can say fuk. But the Arabs love what? So they're not going to say femuk or kathir. They're going to say fuk. You'll see sometimes in writings, fi, fi. They say fi, fi. What does that mean? Fi, fi. In his mouth. You get it? So people, instead of saying fi, femi, say femihi. So that takes more action. Say fi, fi. Like that. Does that make sense? Okay. So, fuk. And these are asma al-khamsa. And that's all you have to know about this bab. Not so far. We're not done. وهكذا جمع صحيح فعرفه وعرفه ما فريته بالالف. Erase this for me, okay, please. That's the first part of wow. We're still dealing with wow. رفع بالواو. Say that, please. That's why here at this stage you have to memorize. No memorization, you will not maintain this. You will not maintain this without memorizing. وارفع بواو خمسة أخوك أبوك ذو مال حموك فوك. That's real easy. وارفع بواو خمسة أخوك أبوك ذو مال حموك فوك وهكذا جمع. What did he say? وهكذا جمع الصحيح فاعرفي ورفع ما ثنيته بالآلف. Let me look this up, make sure I did this right. وهكذا الجمع الصحيح فاعرفي ورفع ما ثنيته بالآلف. Okay, here it goes right here. Let's go through this again. He started off, he said, وَارْفَعْ بِوَاوٍ خَمْسَةً أَخُوكَ أَبُوكَ ذُو مَالٍ حَمُوكِ فُوكَ وَهَكَذَا جَمْعُ الصَّحِيحُ فَاعْرِفِ وَرَفْعُ مَا ثَنَّيْتُهُ بِالْآلِفِ. Now we're going to go through this a little bit slow. He said the first line, we're dealing with dhamma. I mean with wow. وَارْفَعْ بِوَاوٍ خَمْسَةً أَخُوكَ أَبُوكَ ذُو مَالٍ حَمُوكِ فُوكَ وَهَكَذَا وَهَكَذَا وَهَكَذَا. And ha, let's break this word down. Ha, say ha. Ha is ismun yani tanbih. It is a word, this little word ha, to bring attention to something. Ha. Ha-ulai. Hey, ha-ulai. Okay? From the same word ulaik. Okay? So you say ha-kada. Say kida. Kida. Everybody knows in Egypt they always say kida means good or kida like that. Okay? Sometimes they do something foul and somebody says kida like that. Whatever. That's what it means. But when you say wahakada and pay attention, it's like that. So he's saying, and just like the wow is a sign for those khamsa, asma al-khamsa, just like that, it is a wow for jam'u sahih. Fa'arif. Fa'arif. So then know that. See? So, i'rif. Know. Recognize. Really, it literally says, so recognize. We think we came up with that in the what? The 90s? Better recognize. They came up with this 300, what is it, more than 1,000 years ago, this poem, I think. So they came up with this along, so they better recognize. Recognize that the wow is a sign for jam'u sahih. What is a jam'u sahih? A jam'u means plural. What does jam'u mean? Plural. A sahih is what? Right. Means that it is sound. It doesn't have any problems in it. Meaning that it's not jam'u taksir. Means not a broken plural. What it means is just like we had the jam'u mu'annath salim, this is the jam'u mudhakkir salim. This is the masculine plural that is sound. What's sound about it? Its bina, its body is the same. Just like we say, an example of it is we say this word. Say it please. Muslim. What is Muslim? Muslim is an ismul mufrad. What is it? It's a super noun that points to one thing, right? So a sign of raf'in would be what? Dhamma, right? No. Now if I say jam'u sahih, I make this plural, I say what? Muslimun. Muslimun. Because it's the same construction. Muslim, moon. So now we make a wow, the sign of raf'i. In jam'u mudhakkir salim. Or the jam'u sahih, which is the same word. The plural, that is sahih, the wow, is the sign of raf'i. Everybody with me? The wow is the sign of raf'i fi jam'u sahih, or jam'u mudhakkir salim. We finished? That's the end of that. So recognize, like he said, fa'arif, fa'arifi, wa raf'u, right? And make a raf'un. Make it raf'un. Ma alladhi, ma bima'na alladhi, meaning that which. Thannaytuhu. Thannaytuhu means to make something ithnain. You see that? Thannaytu. The shadda in the middle. Ithnain means two. Thannaytuhu means I made it ithnain. You understand that? Just like I said, wahadtuhu, I singled it out, made it one, isolated it, right? So here I thannaytuhu, I made it two. So that's bil alifi. How did I do it? Bil alifi. I took an alif and made something that was one, two. So if I take something that's one, I call this what? Rajulun. What does rajulun mean? A man. Rajulun. Ana rajul. Naam. I'm a man. You know? But, stand up. Stand up. I want to make it two men. So I say, come stand next to me. Rajulan. Now I'm two. Look me. All right? Now how did I take rajulun and make it rajulan? Every time I say rajulan, you got to jump into the camera. Okay? How did I make rajulun into rajulan? it, guys? I put the alif there. Now, if I say rajul, that's one. But now say the other word. Now, it's two of us, right? With the alif. Okay? So now say rajul. Rajulan. You guys are not good. Come on. Rajul. Rajulan. He's going. Ibrahim's like, Rajul. Rajulan. Rajul. But alhamdulillah. But that's how we do it. Bil alif. So we learned something. If you add an alif at the end of an ismun mufrad, you made it what? Two. Okay? Two. Don't you see that when you say tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab? Tabbat yada. The two hands of Abi Lahab. Right? So that's what that construction is. Yada. Not yad. Yad. Yadun. Yada. Two. First from the word yadani, but we cut the noon off. We'll get to that later. Why? But it becomes yada. Two hands. So when we say that sort of, don't think you just cut the hand of Abu Lahab. No. Tabbat yada Abi Lahabin wa tab. You know, could be destroyed or the hell with both his hands. Because that's what tabbat means. Okay? With both his hands are destroyed. So, no, you don't repeat that word. It sounded like she was trying that word out, right? Go to hell. Anyway, everybody understand the ithnain, right? وَرَفْعُ مَا ثَنَّيْتُهُ بِالْآلِفِ. Again, this poem does not help by just being familiar with it. You must memorize it. You must memorize it, and then the meanings of it becomes more beneficial to you. And then when we start to use it, the poem becomes more and more beneficial. Because you get to say, okay, what is this? Oh, وَرَفْعُ مَا ثَنَّيْتُهُ بِالْآلِفِ. So it's رَجُلَانِ. Okay? Erase this, please. We have one more situation to talk, and then we're done with Raf'un. You're complete with Raf'un. Am I going too fast? Is this easy? Simple? Man, I got 8 minutes. We're going to do this in 8 minutes or less or more. Inshallah. Okay, we're done. There's only one line left. وَارْفَعْ بِنُونِ يَفْعَلَانِ يَفْعَلُونَ وَتَفْعَلَانِ تَفْعَلِينَ تَفْعَلُونَ. Now we're at the last part. We're finished with waw, right? We're finished with alif, right? And we're finished with dhamma, which is the first one. Now only thing we got left is what? Noon. So what does he start off by saying? He says, وَارْفَعْ بِنُونٍ يَفْعَلَانِ يَفْعَلُونَ يَفْعَلَانِ يَفْعَلُونَ. Next thing he says, وَتَفْعَلَانِ. Hold on. What does that say that right? وَتَفْعَلَانِ تَفْعَلِينَ. تَفْعَلُونَ. Pay attention. Pay attention here. He says, وَارْفَعْ بِنُونٍ يَفْعَلَانِ يَفْعَلُونَ وَتَفْعَلَانِ تَفْعَلِينَ تَفْعَلُونَ. Okay? Real easy line. What are we learning about this? We're learning that these things are the, astaghfirullah al-azim. Fi'lul mudari. We dealt with everything, but we didn't deal with what? Fi'lul mudari here. Don't we see this? But this is, we said fi'lul mudari alladhi lam yatasal shay'un bihi ki yahtadi wa ki yasal. What are you talking about? We didn't deal with fi'lul mudari. We dealt with it here, right? But what did we say? Fi'lul mudari alladhi lam yatasal. Nothing is attached to its what? End. Right? But what about these? There's something attached to the end of these, right? Right? Okay, so let's take another look. وَارْفَعْ بِنُونٍ يَفْعَلَانِ يَفْعَلُونَ وَتَفْعَلَانِ تَفْعَلِينَ تَفْعَلُونَ. So when we're dealing with the fi'lul mudari, alladhi, that which has something attached to the end of it. Remember the first ones we were dealing with, those are all ismun, right? Al-asma. now we're dealing with a fi'lun. And now this fi'lun, it is different slightly. So the sign for raf'i, for the fi'lun, that has something attached to end. What do you mean, Abu Jabbar? What's attached to it? The asl to the fi'lun is yaf'alu, right? Yaf'alu. And dhamma is a sign of it in the raf'i. في فعل المضارع الذي لم يتصل بآخره شيئا. There's nothing at the end of this, right? Is there? I see moths. You with me? You remember from the first lesson? Okay. Now we're dealing with fi'l mudari that has something at the end. What does it have at the end of it here? An alif. So this is they did it, the two of them. What does it have here? This wow here means plural. Okay? Means they are doing it. This alif here means two. Just like this one. Well, what's the difference between this one and this one? Ya in front of the word. Let's break this word down so you guys can understand something real quick. Or yef, here we go right here. Yef, ya in front of a word is he. Okay? The wow is plural. So the noon is a sign that it is in the case of raf'i. You understand? The rest of the word is fi'lun. Whatever that fi'lun is. So we say he, plural, is they. And whatever the action is, they're doing it. Because the break happens in front of the word, we call it present. So it's in the present tense. You guys understand that? Now, if it's not that and it has this on top, then it is you. You in front. Ta in front and at the end of the word means what? You. But if it's at the front, we call it present. You singular. But when we see a plural here or an alif there, if it's alif, then it's two. If it's wow, it's plural. The noon is still in place of raf'i. You guys got that?
If you're going to say she, the whole construction of the word changes.
If you're going to say she, no. If you're talking about she, and you're talking to her, say you, female, then you change this into like this. Let me step over here. Ta in the front of the word is what? You. Whether male or female, it's you. Right? The fi'lun is right here. Whatever the fi'lun is, we can change it, right? Now, if I'm talking to a woman, we call it the ya mukhatibatul untha. A ya at the end of the word to let you know that we're talking to a what? Woman. You're talking to a jilbab. So, you put this ya right there. And then the noon is still there, representing raf'i. Okay? And so you would say, taf'alina. So he says, yaf'alani yaf'alun. Wa taf'alani taf'alina taf'alun. Oh. Did we see that? Did we cover it? So the thing that's connected to the end of this verb, this action word, is the alif of ithnain, the ya of the female, and the wow that's plural. All of these take a noon at the end in the case of raf'i. Okay? And at the front of the word, we have the ya meaning he, and the ta meaning you. And this he and you is made to be they and you all when we have a wow. Or it means you, woman, if we have a ya. Did we break that down? That is all he said. So he said, وَارْفَعْ بِنُونٍ يَفْعَلَانِ يَفْعَلُونَ وَتَفْعَلَانِ تَفْعَلِينَ تَفْعَلُونَ. We finish? أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.